We have a special guest here in the studio. It's Liz Passaretti. She is one of our fosters. Say hi, Liz.
Hi.
You've been fostering for us for how long?
6 years.
Okay, and what made you decide to foster?
Well, I actually started as a volunteer walker because I wasn't sure I was ready to foster. It felt like too big of a leap. Even though I love dogs, I was really just scared to do it. So I started working with you guys and walking dogs that you had at vets or whatever who needed help. And then I don't know, I think as I got to know more dogs and realized how much help was needed, I just decided to foster. And from there, I couldn't stop.
First of all, Liz, I want to thank you for all the dogs that you've fostered and making a difference in helping them transition from foster to their forever homes. I know one of the big things that people are hesitant with about fostering is, and I hear it all the time, is I can't foster because it would be too hard to say goodbye. So I know that
Yes.
probably your first foster, it was probably harder, but as you kept doing it,
Hmm.
it got easier. So what would you tell people that are hesitant about fostering because they are worried about getting too attached or their heart's getting broken when the dog leaves?
For sure. Yeah. I mean, we all do this because we love dogs. So we're all like very empathetic people. Um, but the quickest answer is I am able to do it because I want to help more dogs. And so, as much as it hurts, I've always felt really good about where the dogs are going, working with you guys in the vetting process. I've always felt like really good handing over the foster to whoever. And like I said, I just also want to be able to keep doing it. And so, that is also more rewarding than the pain or temporary sadness of saying goodbye.
Yeah, I think that's really important, feeling comfortable, like you said. And we do go through a really in-depth vetting process. So, um,
Yes.
whatever rescue you're working with, I think you need to feel comfortable. And that makes me really happy to hear that you feel good about where the dogs are going.
Hmm.
As far as dogs transitioning from coming into with you from either the vet or the shelter. Um, can you talk a little bit about the process it goes through for them to decompress and settling into your home and
Sure.
getting them in a new routine?
This is Cookie Crisp. This is Liz's current foster. So, anyway, please answer.
Yes, she's here somewhere. In terms of the decompression, it really is very dependent on the dog and the situation they're coming from. Cookie had no problem relaxing, as you can tell. She's very chill dog, but um, she was very relaxed. However, I don't think she had ever lived inside. So things like walking on tables or just normal things that you think she would know, she didn't know. But then I've also had other dogs who were definitely shut down and, took a little bit more time. So I also find that time is the most rewarding is when they come in and they're very, very either traumatized or shut down or whatever. That those few days in the beginning are just they're probably the hardest, but also the most rewarding because you really are the key to making them relax and providing a very like stable home and a routine. And you learn a lot too to be patient because your tendency is to want to like love on them and give them all this attention, and that's not what they need. So I feel like I'm winding around all different answers, but it really depends on the dog, and it does just take patience and time.
Great points. I think, it is dependent on the dog. And I think being an experienced foster, you learn how to go about giving each dog what they need. And we want fosters to feel supported. We always tell people that fostering doesn't cost anything. So
Hmm.
as a foster that's been with us for 6 years, I'm assuming you feel very supported by us as far as giving you what you need. If you need to go out of town, you have coverage.
Yes.
We
Yes.
have a portal that you can put in your request, so we try to make that really easy.
Yep.
Is there anything that you feel like would make things better for you as a foster as far as us supporting you?
No, it's pretty complete. And it's very, very nice to have support on, when I do travel, because I think that was another hesitation I had previously was that, oh, but I travel. Um, but you guys are, really good at making it work. And same with like supplies and vet stuff. The dogs are just really well taken care of, and I never really have to worry about it except like logistically, but um, I don't worry about anything else.
Well, that's nice to hear.
Yeah.
I know, for instance, like Cookie had some separation anxiety in the beginning. I mean, kind of talk
Hmm.
about how you handled that.
She did definitely have separation anxiety. I think what I did with her was just kind of tested it out a couple of times, and returned, and she just got more comfortable. I don't know if there's really a trick. I think I also have two dogs, so I think they kind of taught her like you don't have to freak out when there's no one here. Um, so I don't even know if I did anything specifically except to say that like I did continue on my life. Like there's part of you that also wants to like never leave because it's so upsetting for everybody. But I think you have to continue to do the things that you normally do, and hopefully the dog adapts with you.
Having a dog in a foster really helps us learn more about their personalities, and having fosters like Liz who share pictures with us to help promote the adoption is super important. Giving updates on changes and things like that so we can update the dog's bios and just be as transparent as we can with people is really helpful.
So there's two things that strike me about Liz, and one of my favorite things is she helped us with our 2019 gala. And so she showed up, she like was a warrior, moving things, putting tables up, decorating, whatever, and changed into this beautiful dress. And then, then was at the gala. And I was just like, whoa, like, I don't know how many people would do that. So it was really cool. And the other thing, and that was right after she started fostering, and I'm always hesitant. We always need another foster, right? So I'm always hesitant when the dog like leaves, and I'm going, okay, can you foster again? And I said, hey, do you want to foster? And she said, oh, good. I don't remember what the number was. I wanted to have 12 fosters this year. I'm like, yay, that's awesome.
That
I
is
think I'm
awesome.
almost at 30. I think I'm over
I
30.
gotta remember the name. Okay, it's so
Yeah.
funny. I thought the number was 30, but then I couldn't remember, so I didn't want to like put a crazy number out
I
there.
lost,
So yeah,
I lost count though. I need to
Oh,
better at tracking
we can
them.
tell you. We can
Yeah.
tell you. We track it. But anyway, as Christine said, we are so grateful to you, Liz. Like, we love you. You're the best.
Thank you.
As a father foster, you're really great. You're open and you don't complain. And I know it's not always easy, but I hope you find it rewarding. And we are so, so grateful to have you with us.
No, it's the most rewarding thing. It's amazing.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well,
Thank
thank you
you
for
guys.
joining us. All right.
Thank you.
you.
All
Take care.
right.
All right.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
It's great to have people like Liz. So glad she's on our team. We kind of touched about this before, but I kind of wanted to go back to it. And I think Sam's going to have a graphic, but maybe you've heard this 333 rule. And I think people don't really understand. And again, I know Christine talked about my analogy about going to a foreign country. That's how I feel like when a dog comes to a new home, right? They don't know the language, they don't know the rules, they don't know how to get the metro, all those things. So, Christine, do you want to talk a little bit about the 333 rule? Because I know you go over it with people when you're interviewing adopters and fosters.
Yeah, I think that it's such an important rule for people to understand, because I feel like that first 3-month period is really when most people do give up, because the dog hasn't settled in yet, and a lot of people want the dog to come in and just fit into their life like a puzzle piece, and that's not reality. A lot of times we don't know where the dog is coming from, so they need that decompression time. Most dogs that come from the shelter, they're going to sleep for the first couple days because they haven't had a good night's sleep in the shelter from all the activity, the noise, stress, just the environment. So coming into a quiet home, we want you to just let them relax, let them, ease into your home. A lot of people are worried if the dog doesn't use the bathroom for the first 24 hours. That's a big one that we get people like, oh, they haven't gone, to the bathroom yet. And we're like, it's okay. It might take a day. Some dogs don't like to eat right away. And that's another thing. It's okay if they don't eat for that first day. They will eat and they will go to the bathroom. You just have to give them a little bit of time and teach them where to go. And again, that's starting to set them up in a routine, and that's what we want. So again, that's the first 3 days. The first 3 weeks, as they start to settle in, they're learning routine. They're learning that they can trust you. You're setting up boundaries for them. Some people don't like dogs in the kitchen when they're cooking. Not having them up on furniture because we want to teach them to be invited up on furniture. Not sleeping in bed with you right away is a big one that a lot of people have an issue with, because who doesn't want to sleep with their dog, But it's important to set up those boundaries so the dog learns that they are to look to you for guidance and not feel like they have the run of the house. And then after that 3-month period, they're starting to settle in. And that's when you really start to see the dog's personality come out. I know with my own dog, I knew her for 6 months, 7 months, walking her as a volunteer when she was in a boarding facility. She came into our home and she was crazy. We called her a bull in a china shop because she was just in a house. She was so excited. She didn't know what to do. She wanted to go everywhere. And we had to just calm her down. And those walks were super important to get her established on a walking schedule. Once she got home from the walk, she was tired. And that's when we would work on like our sit drills and our sit stay and just establishing that routine. And that's when I really started to see her true personality come out. She calmed down a little bit. She didn't wonder if we were going to leave her and not come back. The 3-3-3 rule is really important for people to understand and to be patient and just wait for that time to pass to start seeing the dog's true personality come out. Because what you see in the shelter is not what you're going to get. They're going to be
true.
barking. They're going to be lunging maybe at the kennel door because they're scared and they don't know you. They don't
Right.
know what you're there to do. So that's one thing with shelter dogs. We really want to tell people, give them a chance. Don't judge them for what you see in the shelter. So once you get them home is when you're really gonna start to see that dog shine.
Yeah, and I think it's important because it's true mostly. I mean, it's true all the time, but mostly for the dogs that come out of boarding and go into a home. Part of that middle thing is like, you might see behavioral issues, and people will say, well, you didn't tell me about X, Y, and Z. Well, we didn't know about it because that dog hadn't been in a home, right? Had been in boarding for a year and hadn't been in a home. Or sometimes it's like it hadn't lived with a kid. It doesn't mean that. So now it loves the kid so much, it's going to start protecting the kid, which that can be a behavioral issue. So there's things like that. And people always say, well, you didn't tell me that. We go out of our way to be completely transparent on behavioral and health issues. But, you can't, I can't see into the future. I don't know. And every situation is different. Every dog is different. So I do think that it's important to give them time to decompress. And we tell people that all the time. Think about it when you're in a new relationship. If you're dating somebody, like you don't feel comfortable 100%, maybe take your shoes off when you're watching TV right away or something, so you have to give them that second to, well, it's more of a second and you need some time to like be acclimated. And if you do that, you will have a great dog, a great relationship. And, it's one of the best things I think in the world. So
Agreed.
Anyway, I thought we'd end with, we sound like a broken record, I think, but we still need a foster for Charlotte. She really, 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 really needs a foster or a forever home. You want to just go right to adopting her, that'd be awesome. I mean, Charlotte is a very sweet girl. She's beautiful. She gets along with cats. You can see there's a cat there in the background. As Christine says, if you do want to foster, we pay for everything, the vet care, the food, whatever she needs. And we would just be so grateful to finally get her in a home. So please foster Charlotte.
Charlotte is our priority. We do have a few other dogs in boarding that we would love to get out. If you don't know what kind of dog you can foster, just fill out the application and we can interview you. We can discuss what your lifestyle is and match the right dog to you. We're not going to give you a dog that's not going to fit your environment or your life. We want it to be a good fit because we want the dog to be able to stay with you until it gets adopted, and we want you to be the right match for the dog to help bridge it over, cross that bridge into its forever home. So if you're not a good fit, we'll tell you that, and we'll keep you on our list for future dogs. I mean, we do have a list of people that we just don't have a dog for them right now. They wanna help, but we just unfortunately, maybe they have breed restrictions or weight restrictions where they live. So we do keep you on a list, and we will reach out to you when we do have a dog or if we need temporary coverage. As Liz explained, she travels sometimes for work, so Cookie has to find a temporary place to go for a couple days, and those type of fosters, we need those all the time. So that would be another great avenue if you're not 100% on board for fostering, or we don't have a dog that might fit you long term. Temp fostering would be a great opportunity for you.
Even if you've never had a dog, or if you only had a small dog and now you're interested in taking a bigger dog, we do help you. We help you with the training. We're not going to be there 24/7, but we do equip you with the right tools and the information and knowledge for you to use so that you can feel comfortable, going into something different, like again, from a small dog to a big dog. But please, Charlotte Lily needs a foster. Please, please, please. If you can't foster, share it with everybody you know, and would be so grateful. Thanks for tuning in, and we will see you next week. Bye.
Bye.